Hey everyone, happy Friday. As promised last week, we have a special episode of the Weekend Review today. We'll go over key takeaways from Token 2049. And for this, of course, I invited a few of our team members who were in Singapore for the event. And we have Diana, our amazing event lead, William, our ecosystem growth manager, and Matyush, one of our incredible software engineers. But before we get started with the takeaways from Singapore, I would like to go over some of the updates of the week. And of course, we'll start with the most important one, our Privacy for Web3 hackathon. And that got a lot of people excited. And with a prize pool of $130,000, I can totally understand the excitement. The prize pools are split between different projects with different tracks, but keep in mind that regardless of the track, you need to use Sapphire or Raffle to be eligible. And if you want to know more details about this, yesterday we hosted our first event that's related to the hackathon, where Matei and Marco were joined by team members from Motion Protocol, Pixel Realm Labs, Apilon, Ether, and Zero One. And they dove into all the details regarding the hackathon and each project's tracks, including some demos. And as always, you can watch the recording on our YouTube channel if you weren't able to attend the actual event. You can find it in the live section. Some other great piece of news last week, as you know, we announced the launch of liquid staking on Sapphire through accumulated finance, and I'm happy to say there are already over 1.5 million staked ROTH through accumulated finance. And it's not late for you. Just go to accumulated finance website, go to Sapphire, and you can stake your precious rows and earn some nice rewards. This week, we also announced a strategic partnership with ChainGPT, which will focus on supporting and advising blockchain projects that are building at the intersection of Web3 and AI. We'll have more details about that soon. And last but not least, we also have a new lesson on the Academy regarding AI alignment and how Oasis can help with this ongoing dilemma when it comes to the AI space. You can find it on the Oasis Rose Garden. That's oasisrose.garden/courses. The AI and more section, of course. Yeah, that's it for the updates. And I would like to start with BD with Will, since he told us he has another call soon, so he'll need to jump off this one. Will, I know you're jet lagged. I know you've been tired, but how was Token 2049 overall from the BD perspective? I know you can't talk about future partnerships, but I just want your perspective. What are some of the exciting projects you met in Singapore? And yeah, just tell me your takeaways from Token 2049.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. Before I jump into Token 2049, I just want to reiterate what you said about accumulated finance. They are live. They're at over, I think, 1.6 million rows right now. It's a liquid staking protocol, and just want to tell everyone what that means. It means that you can stake your rows while also being able to be active in the ecosystem. This is massive for like sort of the quality of life for our users, because before people had to choose between, helping us secure the network through staking, or being involved in like DeFi and gaming ecosystem. And so like that's not great, as people want to both be participants but also be staking, earning yield, and helping us secure the consensus layer. So like now that choice is removed, you can stake through accumulated finance. And as we launch more DeFi protocols, it also will bring composability to the ecosystem. So for example, with Nebi and Thorn, you can have concentrated liquidity pools where you have staked rows to rows, so that you can remove the 14-day debonding time and just sell your staked rows for rows directly, one-to-one. Well, I guess it'll depend on how much slippage there is, but you won't have a 14-day debonding period, so you won't be locked into any decisions. Additionally, like when the new Vine team launches, it'll be most likely added as collateral, so that you can mint the new USD that they come out with using your staked rows. So you basically, and depending on the interest rate on that mint, you might have a self-repaying loan. So these are all really cool things that liquid staking does for us, and we're just really happy with how things have been going with the accumulated finance team. So sorry for that shameless plug, Minya, and I'll get
Promo.
into the
Stop
AI now.
promoting. Joking. And maybe actually promised low slippage, so we're gonna hold them accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. To some degree, that depends on how much liquidity is in the pool.
I know,
But
I
yeah,
know, I know.
I
Joking.
think the
Joking.
foundation is working on seeing how we can help out on that end. But yeah, token 2549. I'll say, it was a long event, so I'll just try to stick to some of the highlights on my side. The biggest highlight being, I think, the hackathon. We had a ton of people. I think the largest amount of people building in that hackathon outside of the one that we hosted in ETHDam, but it was pretty close. We had 18 submissions, and I would say all of them were pretty high quality submissions, which is great to see. We got a lot of great feedback on sort of the documentation and the features that Sapphire offers. And one of the things that sort of having this hackathon, having Mateusz, Diana, and me there was able to accomplish was like we got to talk to like each hackathon team. So even people that weren't building on Sapphire for that hackathon particularly, we were able to tell them about our features. We were able to get them interested. And also promote our upcoming hackathon, which got a lot of attention. So that was really exciting to see. And I want to give a shout out to Diana there. She was the one really pushing for that, and she went with me to every single team that we talked to, and I just really appreciate her for doing that. In terms of highlights in the hackathon, I shared this on Twitter, but two of my favorites were Squiddle and Nix. So Squiddle built something which has static payment links. Under the hood, it works very similar to how Illuminix V2 is going to work, where you basically have communication between Sapphire and an EVM chain or any other chain that then uses Sapphire sort of precompiles to, or I don't know if it's precompiles, but some of Sapphire's features to build to deploy wallets on Ethereum, stealth wallets, and then sort of routes through those stealth wallets so that you can have privacy while getting payments. This is like massive, in my opinion, for like any sort of business that does invoicing and things like that, and is interested in having like receiver privacy, which is the real improvement that this made to like Vitalik's original idea of stealth wallets. Was the stealth wallets were really great for sender privacy, but they were really good for receiver privacy. They weren't great for sender privacy. So the current Squiddle project also creates sender privacy. And then the Nix project, that one was really cool. It was more of like a Web 2.5 idea, but it did utilize Raffle, which was great to see projects utilizing Raffle, especially as it only recently came out, and it's quite daunting at the moment. So for people to take on that challenge in a 36-hour hackathon, is really impressive, and I think it speaks to the quality of this ETHGlobal hackathon. They used Raffle to build an AI therapist. So basically, what happens under the hood is they deploy, they submit an encrypted transaction on Sapphire with their message. This is then picked up by Raffle. Raffle then sends that message and queries an LLM API for the response, and then sends that response to the user. So you have basically private therapy sessions. So that was really cool and exciting to see. Again, this is all done in 36 hours, so we couldn't be more impressed with that. There was a lot of other, and I think, there was a lot of other great projects, but the Squiddle team in particular, they actually won top 10 in the hackathon. So I don't know how many submissions there were, but I don't know. There's thousands of developers there, and for a team to come in top 10, using pretty much Oasis entirely under the hood, was really exciting for us. Besides that, I think we had a great partners dinner. The partners dinner was great because there's a lot of teams that we work with, but we're all working remotely, so we never really get to meet them in person. Pixel Realm was there, Thorn was there, the new team running Vine was there, and so we were able to meet with these teams, get to know them better align on like what their upcoming milestones are, and really just sync on like how we want to support them and grow the ecosystem. I think that's it from the BD side. Like you said, we can't really talk about what products we're working with before grants and everything are signed, but I think it can go without speaking that any product that's submitted to the hackathon that was impressive, we're trying to onboard those teams. We're trying to bring them in maybe to build that to productize what they built in the hackathon, or maybe just use the same skills now that they're familiar with Sapphire to build something that they're more interested in building. So yeah, I think we had 18 teams submit, and then met many more teams throughout the hackathon. So there's quite a good amount of devs that we have now built our network with, and we'll see how we can support them.
Nice, nice. I'm super happy to hear that, Will. And I honestly find it fascinating that in 36 hours somebody can learn how a network works and deploy and have a fully working demo or product. Like it's truly amazing.
Yeah, Mateo,
Um,
I guess like what the quality of devs were like, and how some of the raffle stuff worked. But yeah, I think we also learned a lot, about what our users enjoy and where we can improve and stuff like that, which is exactly what these hackathons are made for. And shout out to Diana for setting up such a great hackathon for us.
the events team is amazing as always. And I'll move on to you, Diana, because I want to speak to Matiush last, because we're gonna go over the winners and give more details to our community. And I need to apologize for not being able to join you guys in Singapore and help out, but I promise never again extreme sports before a conference. So,
it was difficult without you, and if anyone's gonna complain about the quality of the live stream, just so you guys know, um, we really missed me now.
I'm not gonna do extreme sports from now on. I promise. I'm not gonna break any legs.
Please, please.
uh, so Diana, tell me, like, how was it? I know you told me that it was a tremendous success, but I want to hear the numbers. I want to hear what you guys did. I'm sure you excelled at everything.
So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna start with the Privacy for Web3 side event that we organized. That was also the hackathon launch. And the first thing that I want to mention is that we didn't expect that many people to show up. We booked this venue that could hold around 150 people. We ended up having about 500 people show up. So it was busy at times. There were a lot of people inside, a lot of people outside on the terrace. Noisy at times, but I think went great, and I think it's amazing how much interest there is already in Oasis um, in Asia, considering the fact that this was our first time there in person. So yeah, that was very, very impressive. Um, we met quite a few interesting people at the side event. The ocean team was there as well, supporting us, and we are super, super grateful for the awesome work that we've been doing together. And yeah, I recommend you guys tune in and listen to the live stream, because there were a lot of super cool things that were discussed on stage during the event. And then after the side event, sorry, we had the partners dinner. As Will mentioned, it was a great way to meet some of our partners, to meet some of Ocean's partners as well, and see how we can foster and expand our collaboration with them. And then we ended the week with ETHGlobal. And the ETHGlobal hackathon was like nothing that I ever experienced, to be honest. It was so big, so much bigger than I expected it to be. So many developers there that were actually quite interested in Sapphire, and definitely interested in Raffle, which was really, really nice to see. Um, as Will mentioned, we met most of them. We tried to be friendly. We tried to do some networking. We tried to get as many people as possible interested in what in the tech stack that we have to offer. And I think we were quite successful, considering the number and the quality of the submissions. And before I end this rant, I just want to give a huge shout out to Mateusz in the first place. He was there with the hackers until 6 a.m. He's a robot. He's a machine. He
I
was
know.
there the entire night. And then the BD team, they were literally everywhere. Will and Robert were. They spoke to every single person that was in the hackathon, and mind you, there are about 1,500 people there.
Jesus. Well, how many were there in Amsterdam? Like,
Around 900.
Okay. I
Yeah, around
thought 500,
900.
600.
So more than
Okay,
50
so
cents.
a lot more, yeah.
A lot more people, fewer of us. So in Amsterdam, we had a huge team. Here,
Yeah.
we only had 5 people at ETHGlobal. Also, the Crocs were a huge hit, so we're definitely going to do those again.
I know you told me like people were going crazy over the Crocs. See, that's why, yeah, that's why cool swag pays off. But yeah, that's tremendous news. And again, sorry for not being able to join and help out. How did you guys manage with all the heat and humidity? I heard everyone was complaining that
It was difficult. Let's say
it
it
was
was difficult. Luckily, they have AC everywhere.
at least that. But I guess like the sudden temperature changes don't help either. Going
I don't
from
know
the
if you can tell, but I do have a cold still.
okay. Matyush, I'm gonna move over to you. Thank you, Diana, for all the details. And I want to reiterate what Diana said. Thank you for being so amazing and helpful and always there for us. I know that in Barcelona as well for SmortCon you stayed up all night with the hackers and like it's, you're doing incredible. Thank you, Matyush. And I don't know what are your takeaways like. Which cool people did you meet at, at the hackathon? What do you think of the projects that were submitted? Maybe we can speak a bit about the winners as well.
Sure. So this hackathon was something special for our engineering team because it was the first official showcase of Ruffle. So this is a new platform we're building for, let's say, half a year or so. And it's basically an extension to existing Sapphire confidential blockchain. And what it does is, so Ruffle stands for Runtime Off-Chain Logic. So basically, we take the trusted execution environment, which Sapphire runs in, but we also offer running arbitrary applications inside the trusted execution environment locally. So this means you basically get local, cheap, flexible, fast, responsive computation, which can still be trusted because it's running inside the TEE. But Ruffles are seamlessly integrated with the Sapphire blockchain for storage. So Ruffles don't have any local storage. They run in a distributed network, so that they rely on the smart contract storage for that matter. Then you have a complete back office on chain, so registrations of Ruffles, management, authorization, billing, deployments, and so on. And the main improvement of Ruffle compared to smart contracts also is that Ruffle is allowed to open connections, external connections, HTTPS connections to the outer world. So if you know, in Solidity, in smart contracts, you cannot just open a connection to Binance, for example, and then send some HTTP request somewhere and receive it. Well, Ruffle allows you to do that. So basically, you can then do this extraordinary things like getting stock quotes, for example, and storing. So, for example, an Oracle, you can build a trusted Oracle, like provably trusted Oracle, because it runs inside the TEE. And it seamlessly connects with the Sapphire chain, stores data on chain, reads data from chain. So we can rest assured that the Oracle is operating fair. So there is no man in the middle attacks or some adversary out there that will take your money. And also Ruffles are ideal for other compute intensive apps. For example, dAI is popular these days. Then you for gaming, for example, if you do gaming on chain, you are always dependent on this block time. For example, even in Oasis, it's like just 6 seconds, but that may be too much for some games. So basically, you can run your game server inside Ruffle, and it's provably fair, that it runs properly. So yeah, this is about Ruffle, and we were developing Ruffle for at least like half a year, and we were now, so Ruffle is not officially launched yet, but it's available to early adopters. So if you're running testnet, if you're checking our Discord channels, you see that the documentation is already there, and you can deploy your Ruffle apps on chain. But it's not yet officially, running on the mainnet and so on. But this hackathon was a great opportunity to offer our new platform to early developers and see what they think about it, right? So I'm happy that basically out of 5 winning projects, 4 of them used Ruffle behind the scenes. And when I was, listening to other winning projects, not on the Oasis ETHGlobal track, but on the global ETHGlobal track, among those 10 winning projects, Will talked earlier, there were a number of opportunities, I think, that could also run in Ruffle, and they would work even much better. For example, VPN, for example, could be running inside Ruffle. And you could rest assured that, well, none of your data, leaks anywhere outside of the TE and stuff like that. So Will already mentioned Nix and Squiddle. Yeah, so these are the 2 projects. I will probably post the links below. So I would like to mention 3 other winning projects. So let's see. The number 5 was Zero Kuser. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's a on-chain remake of the GeoGuessr. So basically, you're put somewhere on Earth, and you see some Google Street View photos, and then you need to pinpoint as close as possible where you think that photo was taken. And they used this novel approach on the on-chain approach, where you can, play this, and you also pay some tokens, and then you get the reward if you guessed it the closest, if you're competing to other players here. And basically, they were planning to use Ruffle for this map. If you store all the images inside Ruffle, then basically you do not need any external services, any third-party services anymore. Google Maps, for example. And that was their application here. So why do you need this? Well, the amount of photos is huge, and you need terabytes of data, and you can rest assured that that data is safe inside Ruffle, and you don't need to rely on any third-party services. Okay, so the next project I'd like to touch is a very special one. So it's called the RIP protocol, meaning Rest in Peace protocol. And what the team did was, suppose you have your wealth stored on-chain, and you would like to, and in case of your death, then your children, so they try to solve this in heritage practical issue, like how do your children prove that they are really your children and that they are eligible to your wealth after you die, right? And what they did was, they stored your genome on Ruffle, and when your supposedly children come up and want to access your wealth, they share their own genome, and if the genomes sufficiently match, meaning that they are indeed your biological descendants, then they are eligible to your wealth. And this is done completely, on-chain. And because this genome computation is very compute intensive, running inside Ruffle is the only, proper way to do it, to do it efficiently. But because we're talking about the genome, the data is extremely sensitive, right? So you don't want to, have any data leaks, or maybe your cloud provider stealing your genome for that matter. So Raffle was an ideal use case for this kind of the application.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And the last application was lending. So basically, if you do this cross-chain lending platform, you need to download quotes from different chains and store them on chain. And usually, how this is done in practice is that you rely on some backend running in this Web2 world on some centralized server. And basically, they just simply use Raffle for this. So Raffle opens connections every block, fetches the latest quotes, and store them on chain for all tokens out there. And because Raffle is a registered application, you can trust the attestation is being made, the enclave hashes and signatures are being verified. And if you define that in your smart contract, then only such application, such Raffle is allowed to post token quotes to the blockchain, right? And no one else. So this was their use case. Right, and then we have this Nix application, which is the medical data personal AI assistant. Will already described that. I may also just add that once you finish your conversation with your medical assistant, the bot, then this conversation is also forwarded to a doctor, to an in-person doctor, and then the authorization is made that the doctor can access this conversation, and then he can also, read through a complete history of what you chatted about with this bot, and draw any conclusions from there on, and then move on to setting the real diagnose for you. Right, and the last team was BUIDL. So the privacy-focused platform for payments. That one didn't use Raffle, but they did use Sapphire, so to do the on-chain wallet account generation, private key pair generation. So they rely heavily on Sapphire, but they did not use Raffle, I suppose, yet. So this is it for me. I mean, I'm really, when you're building a platform for years, I'm talking about Sapphire now, and building Raffle for past months, and then you see, your technology or platform actually being used in real life to solve problems that matter. This is really exciting. It means that we are doing the right stuff. And we also had some technical issues, of course, at the very last minute. So, running Raffles require a specific SGX capable hardware, and for developers, this is often unviable because they are running, their own Macs, and they cannot, run the whole SGX environment locally. So we did this local net version of Raffles at the very last minute, and we had some hiccups. The first day of the hackathon, and the hackers were great. They were patient, so we worked their problems together. And at the end of the hackathon, we also released a new version of the SDK and fixed a bunch of bugs. So this was a great opportunity for our engineering team as well.
Yeah, I guess this is why hackathons are good, because we're still in testnet, so we were able to fix some of the issues and prepare for the next iterations of hackathons. And yeah, this sounds amazing. Like honestly, I think from what I hear, these are the best projects that we have had submitted in all the hackathons we organized so far. Incredible use cases. Like, will we have any demos for them on the playground or for the community to check out?
I will be adding them shortly, but yeah, I will post you links to their GitHub pages for starters, and they can check them out and maybe play with it. But yes, I will also put those on Playground. Yeah,
I'll add the links to their GitHubs on the YouTube video in the description, so everybody can check them out. But yeah, it sounds like an astounding success. Token 2049 was a well chosen conference to attend. We'll probably do it next year, right, Diana?
I think next year we're probably gonna stay a bit closer to home, and we're gonna do Dubai instead.
Dubai. Okay.
Token 2049 Dubai, and there's a reason for that. It looks like next year the Dubai version is gonna be a little bit more into the Ethereum ecosystem than the Singapore version of it.
Okay, got it. And for this year, do we have anything else on the agenda that we can share?
Yes, we do. So not next week, the week after. So October 9 and 10th, we're going to be in Amsterdam for the World Summit AI. And then in November, obviously, we're going to be at DEF CON. We are going to be at ETHGlobal again. And we are going to announce another special event probably next week.
Okay. I know nothing about that, so I'll be as surprised as you guys.
You will soon. I'm about to inform the team.
And from what I can remember, like the submissions deadline for our hackathon is November 1st, right?
Yes, that is correct. November
Okay.
1st is when the submission deadline is, and then we are going to take some time to properly judge all the submissions, and the winners are going to be announced in Thailand.
Perfect. Okay, guys, so you heard it. You have one more month to grab a slice of that $130,000 prize pool. Cool. Okay, so we're already over the half-hour mark, but thank you so much, guys, for joining. I'm sure the community was eager to hear the updates, so I'm super happy you were able to take some time and join this call. For the rest of the community, I guess we'll see each other next Friday with some more updates. Again, thank you guys for joining. Have an amazing weekend and a great week ahead.
Thank you for inviting us.
Bye, everyone.
Likewise. Bye.
Bye.